is set to be able to go ahead and jump on the beat because it is time for Crossbeats by Jamich. Let's go ahead and dance the night away.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jamich. On the virtual couch, I have my good friend, Shinji16.
Hello, everybody.
And what we have here is Crossbeats REV Sunrise. This is a actual arcade cabinet that sits in my living room, weighing 450 pounds, whether I want it to or not. So today, we're going to show off this amazing, and unfortunately long dead, but still amazing touchscreen rhythm game that should not be forgotten. So let's dive in, get through some of the screens here. And we'll start time when I enter the first song, which is going to be Break the Wall by Akatsuki Records. Now, Akatsuki Records is best known for Toho covers, but this is actually an original song. Let's see, 62, right? 63, okay. I'm going to go and get my settings set up because this is an offline game and I have to do this every time. And we're going to start the run in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
Shinji, do you want to introduce this game to us?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Crossbeats, it's pretty simple. We're going to be seeing some notes appear on screen, and then we tap them. And as for when they're appearing on screen, there's going to be 2 cross-angle lines indicating where they're going to be. You know, they cross where the beat is. Now, this might sound like really simple to explain, but the thing is that when you have a game where your hands cover part of the playfield, indicating that visual preview can be tricky. And so by having those 2 sets of lines coming from way outside the field, it really does help with visibility and readability. One of my favorite things about this game is when you have repeated taps in the same area, typically you'll see multiple sets of those preview lines, so it almost looks like staggered clock hands. Like, not only aesthetically does it look cool, but like visually for a touchscreen music game, I think it's the best execution of how to preview notes. There were a lot of other touch games that came out at around the time of Crossbeats, one of the more notable one being Konami or Bimani's Beat Stream, and I really do feel that all of them missed the mark for properly executing that, and Crossbeats just nailed it. Now, in regards to the game here, I do see someone in chat saying, oh, these are moving so fast. It is worth mentioning, normally Jamich would be starting with some easier song material, but we are on an abbreviated showcase, so we really got to put pedal to the metal, and we're kind of jumping into the deep end right from the jump. So there are 3 types of notes in this. There are tap notes, those are the circles, or sometimes you'll see the hexagons for pairs or chords, and they're pretty simple. Tap, get judgment, done. There are also holds, and you'll note those, they have longer hold periods around them on an X pattern. Hold the note till it's done. And then lastly, there are flick notes. Those are the ones that look like green pinball flippers. You don't have to tap them, you just have to move your finger through them in the required direction. And there isn't a check on when you hit them initially with the finger, but there's a check of when you're moving through them. Timing-wise, that makes them a little bit tricky, especially because they're used in things like flick chains, where you have to like drag your finger across the screen in a very precisely timed manner.
I want to call out the results screen. If you've ever played DDR or any of its ilk, we have the same kind of judgments. Flawless is the best, 100 points. Super is 50. These one in the black down here, those are your combo breakers. All right, now that we've broken the wall, it's time for us to rise up.
Wait, are you saying that these song titles might like mean something? I thought music games weren't political.
No, we're just picking songs that sound cool, right?
Oh yeah, it's all just about the bops. Yeah, right.
All right. So you were talking a little bit about flick notes, and we're going to have a few more of those in this one.
All right. Let's see, what should we cover next? Let's talk about the fact that this is unfortunately no longer in-service game. So in regards to Crossbeats, if you do want to play this, well, there is ZDSI Vanisher, a well-known music game site that also has a pretty robust arcade machine tracker. So you might be able to use that to find a machine near you. I'd also say that you could play the mobile version of this, but unfortunately that has already hit end of service. However, there is a project called Delta Beats. It is a independent music game project, mainly maintained by a cadre of crossbeat fanatics. Highly recommend checking that out if anything you see here looks interesting. It is a free music game. There are a couple of songs that are paid DLC, but any money goes to local Japanese arcades. They don't go to like the large chains like Round 1 and Cellcat. So if this looks fun and you want to play it, you can either use the arcade locator in Zedius, or you could go onto the App Store right now and download Delta Beats. It's essentially Crossbeats continued. Highly recommend. Also, quickly mentioning, there is a tablet versus an arcade view of this, one of the settings that Jamich is doing, because for the mobile version, you know, things were going to be closer together. So when you're in the arcade, you could choose to have it on tablet view. Which one you use is up to you. At high level play, it's kind of a contentious thing, because using arcade, everything's further spread out, might be a little easier to read. Tablet, they're closer together, easier to execute, but it's more scrunched.
With the abbreviated showcase, we're going to keep schmoving here. I want to call out these two songs, remixes. This one has the melody at double time. And these are called You Say Democracy, Shooting Star Democracy. We got the red one, we got the purple one in double time. The purple one has a purple chart, which is going to up the difficulty a little further. We're going to enter the 70s. So, as mentioned, this goes from 1 to 99, and we started in the 60s. Normally, I'd play a 40 just to kind of ease you in, but we got to keep moving here. Anyway, didn't choose this song for any reason other than it sounds cool.
Of course.
Yeah, totally ignore the title.
Cool.
There's no context. But yeah, again, if you do want to get into this game, or Delta Beats for that matter, there is tons of material that is more like intro level. Again, we are seeing high level play here. Talking about that difficulty, there's only one song that's level 99. That's one of the boss songs. On the grand scale, it's typically 1 to 80 with a handful of 90s. And this chart, the unlimited, not every song has unlimited. They all have master, which is the fourth highest. Some of them do have an unlimited though. And again, we're digging into 60s and 70s right off the bat. So if this looks like Witchcraft and Black Magic, well, for starters, it looks like Witchcraft and Black Magic to me, and I've been playing music games for 20 years. But know that we're already well into the deep end.
And speaking with well into the deep end, mind if I hop in with a quick donation?
Absolutely.
We have a $100 donation from Tutelar Fuck Ice 7 saying best of luck with the marathon and raising money. Yes, indeed. And that's right. I will say your name if it has Fuck Ice in it for sure, because Fuck Ice. That $100 donation went towards the glitch exhibition of Spyro Year of the Dragon, meaning we met that incentive for Dylan J. Fox to show off glitches after the any percent run. But don't get complacent. We have another incentive for Elder Scrolls Skyrim coming up for Morrowind Any Percent during a cutscene where Musical Daredevil will do a very fast and very broken Any Percent run of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind during a particularly long cutscene in Skyrim. That has a $1,500 goal, and we could put our donations toward that incentive using the Add Incentive button after !donate.
So you're doing runs inside of runs. Excellent.
That is exactly what it is, 100%. Or in this case, Morrowind Any Percent.
Fair.
This is absolutely incredible stuff Jamich is doing. You are absolutely rocking this.
All right, we're going to move into a second credit of, I want to highlight a bunch of really cool charts and at least one really cool song. This next one's my second favorite song in the whole game. It's called Strayer by Taishi. It is just some amazing trance, and we're going to have these really neat thumb slides. And you'll see those when they come up. Those slides, they're really hard to time because it treats every note individually, and you have to basically be perfect to get them with good timing.
Yeah, so it's asking you not only to be moving in a specific direction, but like at a certain rate, because, you know, if it's a whole bunch of, if it's really rapidly across the screen, you know, it's going to be fast, whereas if it's a short area, but a whole bunch of individual ones, then you have to be really slow, really precise. Timing wise, it is a nightmare, but like mechanically, it's cool as all heck. Now, Jamich is having to redo options because, again, this is an arcade game. Even though it is set to free play, it only goes in 3-song sets. So we're essentially putting in another quarter and getting started up again. And typically with music games that are online or, they're still in service, there's a profile that you can enter that remembers your settings and all that. But we have to keep redoing things from scratch as we start each credit. Speaking of settings, a moment ago we were talking about tablet versus arcade. One other thing, because this is going to come up later in the run, is speed mods. So in most music games, there is the concept of speed mods. If we think about Dance Dance Revolution, how fast are the arrows moving up towards the targets? In Crossbeats, it's how much time do we have for the note previews. Faster speed mod means that they appear on screen for less time. Now, you might think that you want as much time as you can to see them, but imagine if we have billions and billions of note previews. It can get really visually cluttered. And that's typical for most music games. Eventually, people will find a sweet spot of where it's fast enough that they have time to react, but it's only what they need just to avoid visual overload. Now, there is the concept of soft land, nicknamed after the song Soft Landing on the Body, where the BPM and in turn the speed of the notes will change. There is soft land in Crossbeats, but again, it's going to be affecting how long or how quickly those note previews show up, but we'll address that when we get to it. And also just leaving a little bit of empty space here because music here is incredible. Strayer's an incredible song.
Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go.
Nice.
We take
Let's get those bangers in chat.
All right. Moving right along. So we got a lot to show you. This next song is called Hervor. This is another 73. And this is what I like to call a planted chart. There's a lot of holds in it. There's actually only one flick note the entire way. There's a lot of holds, and I'm going to be playing Twister with my hands on this one. I will make an attempt to call out some parts that are particularly cool, but I might be too busy to do so.
Yeah, it's almost like you're busy doing incredibly difficult high-level play. Darndest thing. What do you mean you can't talk to us the whole time?
But Shinji, you're doing great also chiming in with a lot of the really cool stuff that maybe the casual rhythm game player or perhaps someone unfamiliar with rhythm games could even recognize on the screen here.
Yeah, like I have not been able to play Crossbeats yet myself. I've played a fair share of Delta Beats, but I primarily play music games like Beatmania 2DX. And this kind of helps me transition to a point that I want to bring up about this. So if we think about games like DJ Max or 2DX or even to an extent like DDR, also Guitar Hero, they're static in that the targets aren't necessarily moving around, the notes are always in the same place, and your hands or what you're using to execute are always going to be in the same position. With games like Crossbeats, even Beatstream to a degree, but Crossbeats and Delta Beats, where your hands or your fingers need to be are constantly moving. It's dynamic as opposed to being static. And that's one of the really huge strong suits of this game and Delta Beats to that point. What can be done charting wise to the way you interact with the song or what the game wants you to execute? It's a horizon that still has not yet been fully explored, and what little has already been carved out is incredible. The main thing with music games is, okay, the game wants me to do this physical action. I need to figure out what it is, and then I need to do the thing. And then once you're doing the thing, there's a certain amount of satisfaction. I find that for Crossbeats and Delta Beats, that immersion and satisfaction, it's much higher than static games. Jamich is a huge proponent of trying to play dynamic rhythm games, and I completely understand why. There is a little bit of logistics involved. Like some songs, you're going to want to angle your hands in certain ways or do crossovers in an atypical way, but it's still something you could absolutely sight read. It's not something you have to super rehearse. But again, the fact that that's a consideration you need to take in, it's a huge plus and strength of the game.
one more of my absolute favorite charts in the game. We're going to do Iroha, and we're going to do it in ultimate mode. But I'll let Shinji talk about that while we're playing. But what I want to call out is about 2/3 of the way through the song, we're going to have these patterns that I call meshes. We're going to have taps and flicks interleave between the hands. So keep an eye out for that when it shows up.
Yeah, about 2/3 of the way through the song, really try to watch the hand cam. So we're going to have pairs of chords and Jamich in synchronous timing, but on not perfectly symmetrical movements. It's almost like if you had like a sliding block puzzle and you're like moving them all around at the same time. It's incredible. There are meshes in other songs, but this is the one where it's the most notable. It is dope. So talking about the ultimate gauge. So up at the top, below the song title, Iroha, there's a large pinkish purple bar right now, and you can see that it's rapidly going down. So in most music games, there's a concept of the life gauge or groove gauge. You know, hit note good, gauge go up. Hit note bad, gauge go down. If the gauge empties out, typically it will then cut the song, you fail, okay, whatever. Usually there's a harder life gauge in most music games. You know, if you hit with anything other than what you would combo with, you get severely penalized. How about a groove gauge where even hitting the second best judgment drains the gauge, and it then takes 5 of the best gauge to start recovering it a teensy bit. You see those very, very tiny incrementals it's going up? That's when Jamich is getting 5 flawless. Anything less than flawless drains the gauge. It is probably the most aggressive and terrifying groove gauge I've seen in any rhythm game. And this isn't the only one it's in, because Naoki gets around. More on that in a moment.
Absolutely savage.
Because here comes those meshes. Pay attention, folks. Those patterns are so cool.
So cool.
Up front, it's really overwhelming, but knowing that it's like, hey, put your hands on the machine and then almost claw-like move them in synchronous across the machine. It is so cool.
Claw grip is goated.
Also, Half Hero DX asking, did they say the timing allowances for this game? So getting a little into the weeds. So yeah, 2DX has a 1-frame timing window before and after, so 2 frames total. Crossbeats is a little looser than that. If I had to guesstimate, if it's similar to Delta Beats, I want to say it's 2 frames. I don't think it's as loose as 3 frames, but it is relatively tight, but it's not as strict as 2DX.
Yeah, it's noticeable, but there's some allowances for the fact that a touchscreen isn't as precise as buttons and switches.
Exactly.
All right, so this game has a story. It's all in Japanese, so I don't really know very well what it is, but we're going to get to say hi to my friend Akatsuki here. She's the protagonist of the first game. She's an android girl or something, fighting some shadowy organization. I don't know. All super relevant stuff, but Shinji, if you would like to tell us a little bit about the history of this game.
Yeah, like most games, it has a story, and like most music games, you can absolutely ignore it entirely if you want to. But it does bring up a cast of characters, and I'm not talking about the characters in the story, but rather the folks that made this game. So, this is a song by Tash. Tash is an artist that has been in pretty much every music game you can think of. But for projects that Naoki has led, Naoki Media, they tend to pair up a lot for the more important bits. So to have Tash on a story song isn't all that surprising. Talking about the history of the game, so Naoki, one of the music game musicians, and more on him specifically in a minute, because, reasons for the set list. After he left Konami, where he was working on primarily DDR, but also with 2DX and other main music games from them, he then approached Capcom and said, hey, I want to do a thing, and Capcom let him do the thing, and that was Crossbeats. Unfortunately, it didn't stay around for quite as long as folks were hoping. So then after that, Naoki wanted to make a game called Seven's Code. Unfortunately, that is also no longer in service. But then we have Mashup Revision, which sounding to its title, it has a song list and then it does mash mixes of them, and they're custom made. They're not algorithmically generated. Really cool project. That is still ongoing. And would you believe of all of those other projects, Seven's Code and Mashup have ultimate gauge, and it's just as scary there as it is here. But also for the story events in those games as well, yeah, it's typically Naoki or Tash. Yeah, I see a few folks in chat perking up because Seven's Code, my beloved Seven Code's mentioned. Yeah.
Indeed. What's also perking up is we've got donations coming in from the community sharing love. And if you'd like to join in, ! Donate in chat. We've got Phyrexian Mood Cafe donating $25 saying, happy to see Jamich Gaming and Shinji commentating. Awesome to see music games being featured. Y'all rule. And also, fuck ice.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And yeah, I haven't been able to read chat quite as much because for these first couple of credits, there's some more dedicated chatter that we've got because, again, abbreviated showcase, pedal to the metal, trying to cram in as much as we can. So up next, we've got Dynamite Rave. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Dynamite Sensation Rev. Mm-hmm. So for folks that are familiar with music games, you might remember Naoki doing Dynamite Rave. This was one of like the songs when DDR was first coming out, like in the first couple versions. And yeah, that might be why Dynamite Sensation Rev, not Rave, because crossbeats Rev, sounds like Dynamite Rave at home. But for folks here that aren't as familiar with music games, so this is a song by Naoki Media. He's like the godfather of DDR. If you've played DDR, you've heard his music. He was a huge portion of the track list when DDR was first coming out. If you're familiar with Dynamite Rave, B4U, Afro Nova, Suguru, Sakura, Max 300, Fascination, like all of those songs, that is Naoki. And like, again, like this is him. Like this is his style. He has a very distinct sound of either kind of like not quite Eurobeat, not quite rock, but a little bit of a blend of the two. So yeah.
And an absolute bop for sure. Is it all right if I sneak in with another community donation read?
Absolutely.
We've got Joan Forcer donating $50 saying, super excited to see Jamich showing off crossbeats again. While playing, don't forget to try the unlimited and stay hydrated with very crushed ice. Indeed. I do love that. And I do want to say an interesting fact, that $1,500 target for Morrowind any percent during a cutscene for Skyrim is already 10% of the way through. The community is absolutely showing up. And if we meet that incentive, we're going to be super close to 40K, but it can't be done on its own. That $50 that Joan Forcer had done was put towards the bid war for Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS for the Save or Kill, the final Yoshi, where Joe had asked to save the Yoshi, which is currently in the lead by $75.
Thanks a ton, Joe. We gotta keep moving. We gotta keep moving. We got
pedal to the metal.
We got another essence to explore here. This song is by Ram, who is a frequent flyer from Beatmania and the king of drum and bass, in my opinion.
Yeah. So talking about how Naoki was like one of the folks in the music game scene, as he has gone on to do other projects, a lot of other usual suspects like Ram, Tash, Malazan, Slake, they've also come in to contribute to those projects. So again, if you're a music game fan, haven't been able to play Crossbeats, or if you haven't heard of Delta Beats, because same thing there, please check out those games and projects. They are incredible. And yeah, this is an absolutely S-tier drum and bass song. It's like Ram. Like this is his home turf. I've been trying to be active on commentary, but this, I actually kind of want to let this walk the talk. Like this is an S-tier song. Absolutely love that. Starts up sounding like it's going to be a more modern day drum and bass track. Drops into the late 90s, early 2000s, really like grungy bass style. Absolutely incredible. Plus, we're also seeing a lot of what I was talking about earlier with those rapid taps, and you have like those oscillating, almost like kind of like moving clock hands. Again, doesn't just look cool, but as a visual preview to indicate where you need to be, especially in a game where you're not going to be able to perfectly see the playfield because of your hands. Like, best execution for a touchscreen music game I've seen for multi-taps, in my opinion.
All right.
And yeah, talking about pedal to the metal, Starman27 is saying this game looks very hard. We are on an abbreviated showcase. Typically, Janmich and I are used to having more time to help intro folks into this. So we are diving into the trickier stuff right off the bat. This is a 76. The songs are rated 1 to 99. There's one boss song at 99, and it's really more 1 to 90. So we're well up the scale. If this game looks fun, just know that if you're able to locate an arcade machine for this, or if you decide to download Delta Beats, there is tons of material aimed at folks that are just getting started in the game. Do not let what you're seeing intimidate you. Let it inspire you.
Modern rhythm games generally have pretty good progression, except Beatmania. That's just how Beatmania is and always will be. But
as someone that's been playing 2DX for 25 years now, can confirm.
But if rhythm games interest you, please give them a shot. That's a third of what we're here to do. The other two-thirds is to fuck ice. And normally I'm not one for vulgarity, but there's nothing more vulgar than fascism. So fuck ice.
I'm normally very not blue in my chatter on my stream as well. And loudly and proudly, fuck ice.
All right, we have more touch. We're stepping into the 80s now, and we have Devil's Classic, which is some heavy symphonic hardcore. We thought this would make a nice transition.
Before the track kicks off, the ult for this was absolute reverse, right?
An actual reverse.
Actual reverse, yeah. So at this point in the set list, Janmich wanted to show off a song that was like kind of a gateway into like the end game content, so to say. Like, oh, you're actually like an expert at this. Let's see if you can walk the talk. And that was going to be actual reverse. But as technical as that chart was, it wasn't as like visually flashy per se. Like if you play the game, oh, that looks hard. Whereas with this, it's a little more visually easy to keep up with. Like a lot of these chords, like you can hear the song leaning into having tons of chords and then having lots of runs in between. And also, once again, Tash. Tash is known in the music game community for being able to bring that atmosphere of like, yeah, this is going to be a boss song or this is going to be something that's intimidating. And just felt like it was a better bit for the showcase. Otherwise, we would have gone with the other song, which is also an 80.
So cool. Can I hop in with a couple of quick joins on the chant? Milak Alagachi had said inside the chat, not typically one to swear, but I believe just earlier you donated $25 to IRRF that said, fuck ice.
Hell yes. Oh, I just see Fango Olives. I've thoroughly enjoyed all these GDQ voices shouting fuck ice. Hell yes.
Right? Exactly. Continuing on that, we have Dradla donating $25 saying, please make this happen. If you don't know how good Morrowind any percent it is I promise it's worth it. Also, fuck ice. Yes, indeed, we are at $175 out of the $1,500 goal for that Morrowind any percent incentive.
And again, talking about what all of y'all are doing, like, we're already well met for the boss song showcase. So if you think this is tricky, buckle up, chat. But also there's the fact that y'all are killing it. Like, we're at 38K. We're almost at 39K. Y'all are incredible. And I try to mention this when I'm doing commentary, but I've been a little accelerated this time around because, shorter time. Thank you, chat. Whether you're donating, you're hyping up things in chat right now, or maybe you're lurking and vibing, or you've helped spread the word on social media about this event, everything helps fuck ice, and thank you.
Up next, we have, I believe, Someday from Sparker. I'll let Shinji go into a bit of the lore here.
So, for folks that are familiar with music games, you know Slake. For folks that don't, so Slake was one of the artists that was most prolific in the early days of 2DX, and was very divisive. Either you love Slake or you hate Slake. There was very little in between. Now, artists typically have aliases, and back in the day, this was to help make it look like there was a large roster of musicians when there was only a couple. In more recent years, it's when an artist is like, hey, there's this like genre or style I want to explore that's like not my usual thing. So just to like help mentally separate it, I'll have an alias for, you know, that style of music I do. This is Sparker, which is an alias of Slake, and Sparker is kind of liked more as opposed to Calf or just straight up Slake. And like, you know, music is subjective. If you don't like a song, that's totally fine. There's no right or wrong reason. Having said that, if you don't like Slake, skill issue, get good. If you can't tell, I am a big fan of Slake. In all seriousness, though, one of Slake's strong suits is his percussion. He is more of a traditional electronic artist, not necessarily techno, so his layers of percussion are incredible. In a lot of music games, especially games like this where both hands are involved, it's common that one hand will be doing something basic like just downbeats or doing a hold, and then the other hand is doing the more intricate rhythm of the melody, and you know, on harder charts it'll then switch responsibilities. With like Slake and this chart in particular, we're really leaning into all of the different drum and percussion rhythms that are going on. There's nothing really just, oh, 4 on the floor and that's it.
The love from the community continues to pour in. We have $50 from Maramu saying, R.I.P. Crossbeats, my beloved. Oh,
yeah,
indeed. But it's getting shown off so nicely right now.
Yeah, it's a shame it didn't last longer. Oh, that's one other thing I forgot to mention again. We are on such an abbreviated schedule here. This is by Capcom. It's the only real like arcade music game that they did, and it's a shame it didn't last longer because Crossbeats does lean on those IPs. There's Phoenix Wright in here, Monster Hunter, Street Fighter, Mega Man. There are some amazing covers and remixes, but we're not going to see more of that because unfortunately, end of service. Womp womp.
Womp womp.
This one's called Take It Back. It's from Daniel Seven, a Italian UK hardcore producer. Pretty amazing song.
Yeah, this is actually one of my faves in the showcase. The energy on this is incredible. I actually really like this song. And plus, you know, the title, Take It Back, you know, totally no reason why this is in the showcase. You know, games are political. Don't worry about it. But yeah, just some absolutely S-tier UK hardcore. Such good energy. Beef McCat, Stop Killing Games. I mean, it's a mix of that. Part of it was Capcom just not wanting to continue the project anymore. But at the same time, there was a version of this you could play on your phone. Why isn't that still available? Like, what the hell? Meanwhile, Delta Beats, out for free on iPhone and Android, works offline, made by fans with all support from that game for any of the paid content in it, going to local arcades. Hint, hint, wink, wink. If you like what you're seeing here, please go download Delta Beats. Thank you.
Let's go. Oh, actually, Shinji, we got a good question here inside a donation comment. Scoots donates $20 to the to IRF, asking, "Hey, Ajamich, will we get a little pyromania to melt that ice? Always happy to see rhythm in marathons." Thank you so much for that contribution. And Shinji, will we see pyromania?
Absolutely.
Yes.
For folks that are familiar with Jamich's shenanigans, there's a certain song that might end all of his streams, much like how I have a certain song that always ends mine, but we'll get to that in a little bit. In the meantime, oh my god, this song slaps.
So good.
And also, like, chat, you've been really hyped so far, but a reminder, this is some of the best Crossbeats play you're going to see. Like, I know Jamich says, oh yeah, he's good at this game. One of the best players in the world, possibly best outside Japan, you know, just saying. So cannot stress enough how amazing this gameplay is.
We got to keep moving.
Yeah, we really don't have a lot of spare time here.
So that was an 83. We're going to bring it up to an 84. This is a particularly crunchy chiptune from who is Toriano's husband. If you heard her music, the couple that chiptunes together stays together. This song was chosen because it was cool, but we're not going to complain about having a name like this in our set either. So this is Pigo, and this is going to be our first song with BPM changes.
So pay attention on this. So this chart alternates between 100 and 200 BPM. Now, in some music games, when there's a BPM change, visually, nothing changes for like how the note previews are. It's just like, oh, this is a more up-tempo section or what have you. Some games, mechanically, it will speed up. Like in DDR, the arrows are suddenly moving faster or slower, or in the case of crossbeats, it's a situation where the note previews are going to be appearing for more or less time. Hold on. Did we lose stream?
While we go ahead and take a look at how to address the situation, I do want to remind everyone that donations are going towards the Women's Foundation of Minnesota's Immigrant Rapid Response Fund, and we've raised over $38,000 for the effort, which has been absolutely incredible. Bravo to everybody, and let's keep that hype up. Helping to support in that effort, we have Armasail donating $25, saying, "I'm loving this Crossbeats showcase and this entire event. Jamich is excellent, and I'm loving Shinji on comms. By the way, fuck ICE."
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I do the best I can, but again, really cannot give enough credit and hype up to Jamich for the gameplay here. All right.
Yeah. Big thanks to the tech team here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, all good. Let's go ahead and get back into that rhythm showcase action with a Jamich.
So we were talking about a soft land. So when some games, there's a BPM change in the song, it doesn't happen mechanically. Like it just like, music going faster or slower, but the way it visually looks stays the same. Not the case here. And again, it's called soft land because one of the first songs in music game history to do it was soft landing on the body, and it's just been nicknamed soft land as a result. So again, for crossbeats, like right now we can see that the previews are showing on screen longer. They're coming in a little bit slower, and then in a little bit, right at the bottom of the screen, you can see that 100. We're going to see that jump up to 200, and things are going to rapidly change. See, now we're back to usuals. But the thing is that sometimes music games, they'll let you mid-song by using a mechanic of some kind. Like on DDR machines, you might be able to use the buttons on the front of the panel. For crossbeats, there's a section at the bottom of the screen you can tap. You can change your speed mod mid-song. And I'm not a fan of Softland. There are some folks that think it's fine. There are others that really despise it. There are some charts where there's a little bit of downtime in the action as the BPM jump is happening. That's like, oh, hey, here's your chance to hit the button to change your mods. And yeah, I'm a stubborn old man that's going to die on this hill. If a song has Softland, yeah, miss me with that. Like, there are some songs where it's a more gradual thing, or you can absolutely anticipate it, or you don't even really need to adjust your controls because, like, it's not a gotcha kind of thing. Charts that do that are just commonly referred to as having BPM changes or possibly having a gimmick to them. Typically, when you say that, oh yeah, a song has Softland, there's a little bit more of a derogatory connotation that, oh yeah, there's a BPM jump here, and if you don't know about it, it might make you miss notes. Also, super fun song by
Huge fan of that one. Huge fan. I normally don't love those BPM changing songs either, but that one, I just like the way it plays.
Yeah, like quote unquote soft land isn't always a bad thing, but there are some times where it gets weaponized against the player. Looking at you, Naoki, with all of your DDR boss songs before you left. But you know. And speaking of usual suspects, so here's Malzahn. Malzahn is known for doing drum and bass, typically liquid drum and bass, and that's probably my favorite genre, so I'm a minor stan. But here we've just got some either like up-tempo house or like energetic trance from Malzahn. Absolutely incredible work.
So good indeed.
So good. And again, we're seeing tons of, they're not quite chords, but they're like double taps and then leaning into flicks. Like, again, the mechanical execution on this, like, I know that we've dove straight into the weeds and this might look terrifying, but there are tons of songs and charts that lead up to this level of play. Having said that, Jamish is just killing it. Because again, 1 to 99, although in essence it's really more 1 to 90, and this is an 84. Ooh. And Jamish is just kind of coasting through like it's nothing.
I love it.
And I do see at least one reference in chat to tapping and sacking 3 mana. As a former Magic player, your reference is noted and appreciated. Thank you, Hollow.
I saw that too. It's very good. What else is very good is we have a $10 donation from Jessica at Fuck Ice saying Fuck Ice and trans rights.
Hell yes!
Let's do it. I will read Fuck Ice if it's in your name. I'll read Fuck Ice if it's in the comments. If you want it represented in the donation too, F is the 6th letter in the alphabet and Ice is the 9th letter of the alphabet. And Chad, I think you know what you need to do with those 2 numbers. Feel free to go ahead and put it everywhere, because fuck Ice.
Nice.
Casual FC on an 84, we take those.
Hell yeah, let's go!
Let's go.
All right. We got one more credit, and we're going to keep it moving here. This next song is called Palpitation by Zek. When this game was online, it scared me to death, and I've improved a bit because having access is one of the biggest barriers to getting good at rhythm games, and having the cab in your living room changes the access equation a lot. This song is 198 BPM of pure terror. So I'm going to kind of just sit back and let it speak for itself once I get it going.
Speaking about access, like that's one of the reasons why I've been trying to name drop Delta Beats here. Being able to play these games, like, because most of these start as arcade games. I think about Dance Dance Revolution. Like, yeah, nowadays, home pads or home stages are like, you know, much more affordable, or there's a lot more arcade machines across the country. But like when it first came out, a lot of the barrier was needing to have a machine near you. And the same can be said for music games since, talking about 2DX, talking about Gitadora, Pop It, Crossbeats when it was a thing, and so on. Delta Beats, it works on your phone and it is phenomenal. So if this looks interesting to you and you want to get into it, please do check that out. But yeah, talking about Palpitation, oh God, does this song live up to its name? So this song is just absolutely incredibly difficult stuff all through. One thing that I love is there's a series of flick notes that are back and forth, so it's almost like you're doing turntable scratches. There they are. But at like a lower BPM, like, you know, having to do what this chart wants you to do, but not quite as quickly, it would still be a nightmare. And then we're at 198 BPM.
Amazing.
Yeah, this song is absolutely terrifying. Like, we can see that we are constantly juggling between having to do rapid successions of like tap chains, having to be really careful with certain holds, going from flicks to chords and back again. Like, this is doing everything at breakneck speed.
Look at all the counter movement in this section.
Yeah, just lots of back and forth, having to alternate what hand might be leading on the beat, what hand is carrying melody, what hand is handling a chord, while another hand has to start a flick chain. Again, Normally we would further ramp into this, so the sheer terror here can be better understood by folks that don't play this game, but we're on a little bit of a time crunch, and again, cannot hype up the gameplay enough.
You might have been thinking my fingers have been on fire the whole set, but that actually burns.
Yeah. Yeah, just incredible. Yeah, part of me is laying back on commentary in case if there were any other donations, but partly because song slaps and partly because, oh my god, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I got a fun
All of the
question.
above on my side, yeah.
I got a fun question in chat. How often do I have to wash the screen? It is the kind of gross reality is that you actually need a little bit of finger grease on the screen to slide. So you don't want to do it too much, but I do have a towel ready to go.
But yeah, so for folks that know, yeah, that touchscreen, that is not a Dantra Stardom dance pad. It is not slippery at all. The finger burn is not a joke.
See, Katari in chat. I've seen your scores. I believe in you. Keep it up. All right, so here we've got Overclock Kai-Ho. This is an 86. It's the hardest song I've ever full comboed. It's by Naoki again, because of course it is.
Of course.
And this is the hardest chart that you've FC'd, correct?
That's what I just said.
Right. But some notes on this too. So we've got alternating eighth notes with at the top with chords on the bottom. We then get circular chord notes. We get polyrhythm and slides. Then we've got a hold on one hand while having to do a drum roll with the other. Like, it's a banger by Naoki. It's still an 86.
Check this out.
Woo!
So cool.
Yeah, just incredible gameplay.
What else is really cool is we still are continuing to get donations coming in support of the Immigrant Rapid Response Fund from the Women's Foundation of Minnesota. We have $25 from Ivan that just says "Ice out." Indeed. Ice out. Thank you so much for that generous contribution. And we're inching closer to that Morrowind any percent during a cutscene with a $1,500 goal, currently sitting at $255.
Yeah, I see. I just dropped it. VM Key mentioning, this is why rhythm game showcases are so fun. You're just bewildered half the time. So I don't play crossbeats myself. I have played a little bit of Delta Beats. My main game is 2DX, which is a more like traditional music game. But I've been playing music games actively for like over 2 decades at this point. I've dabbled in pretty much everyone you can think of. And no matter what, whenever I see high tier play of a game that, like, you know, isn't my main, even I'm just like, what is this witchcraft? How do you do this? I don't understand this.
Absolute magic. Absolute magic.
So this is the last song of the main showcase, but y'all did good. Got us the bonus showcase and got the money where it needs to go. But
Hell yes.
as Scoots kind of stole my thunder, we're gonna end with Pyromania by Komi. This is my absolute favorite song in the game, and I always end with it for 2 reasons. One is because it helps me gauge my progress, and 2 is because it's the best song in the game. But number 3 is let's take this opportunity and melt some ice. So without further ado, let's get it started. Get those jam emotes in chat, dances, raves, whatever you got.
And you've been playing this for years, and so like new PBs are kind of hard to come by at this point, but you just got a PB on this a couple days ago.
Yeah,
Congratulations on that.
I cracked 50K for the first time in 8 years of work.
Yeah. So when I in 2DX, I always end all of my sets with a song called "Last Burning," and I always say that, it's time for our final conflagration. Jamish might have a similar catchphrase, you know, completely original, do not steal. But yeah, that's why folks might be doing jam emotes in chat, but I had that concept first. I have my Last Burning emote in chat. In all seriousness, though, like, this song slaps. Like, I'm not sure if I'd say it's my favorite, but I completely understand why it's Jamish's favorite. Incredible work by Komi.
So good.
But while this might have been the last song, and I know that we've been saying, oh, we had to dive right into the hard stuff, we didn't really get to ramp up, so for folks that aren't familiar with this game, it might be a little scarier. Hang around. The True Terror is coming up after this. And again, that's thanks to all of you and all of your support. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's right. You all donated towards that incentive in support of the Immigrant Rapid Response Fund in response to what's happening in Minnesota. And we will indeed get to see the Boss Song Showcase.
I'm just remembering something. So earlier, I might have donated $4.28, and you were talking about, how F is the 6th letter and ICE is the 9th letter. For everything number-wise, because music games love their number play. So like Konami, it's all about 573 because go, me too, 573. For Naoki games, you've got 428 because April 28th is Naoki's birthday. So if you want an easy number to associate with this or mashup revision or
that's
7th
time,
code,
by the way.
Time!
All right. So, are we ready to dive into the showcase?
I think that's a question we need to be asking you.
Well, we got a bunch of other cool runs to highlight yet, so can't take too long, right?
No worries, no worries.
So, let's get in. Let's take a look at what we got. We got 5 charts rated 90 or higher, and we're going to play all of them. Let's scroll over where we need to be. And we're going to start with Minerva, because Minerva is the most straightforward of these. Minerva's only trick is that it has 916 notes, which is the most of, I believe that's the most of any song in the game.
Wow.
It has 212 BPM, and it's by Z, but we do not want survival gauge on at this point. But the thing about Z is, what I like to say about Z is he went to the grocery store and they had a whole palette of expiring 24th notes. And he bought them all, and he's got to use them all today, so they're going in this song right now.
24th notes?
So, for folks that know music games, DJ Taka is known for having lots of arpeggios and like 16th note runs in his songs just because it charts well or it's fodder for charting. Sometimes Taka syndrome in songs is not the best. Z saw that and said, "Hold my beer." Like, for folks that are familiar with music games, Freedom Dive, that's Z. We heard y'all like Freedom Dive, so here's your 24th notes. Or in this case, 16th notes and 24th notes at 212 BPM. Why?
That's wild. Oh my goodness.
Like, on the one hand, what this chart wants you to do is super simple. On the other hand, it is blisteringly, sometimes literally, blisteringly fast. Look at that. Look at all those series of tap notes back to back to back. When you're looking at the note splashes, the explosion of when you tap a note, if you're not paying attention enough, you might think that those are flick chains. No, those are individual taps.
Absolutely mind-boggling. Wow.
Half Hero DXing, hearing 24th notes activated my fight or flight. That is the correct response.
Oh my goodness. Shinji, you called out the 4 to 8 earlier, and I had called out numbers earlier. Somebody who called to action earlier with that was Fuck Ice donates with a comment that says "Fuck Ice" in the amount of $69, or 6 and 9 next to each other. Nice.
Nice. So the M key says, "I don't even know what to say. The absolute hell is going on." Again, I've been playing music games for the majority of my life. I would say that I'm an expert in a couple of them, and debutante in any of them. Yeah, this is witchcraft. I have no I could follow 60s and 70s that Jamich plays. Once we get above 80s, that's where I'm leaning on the notes Jamich gives me for what's happening in the chart, because I don't freaking know what, you see this, right?
Now, see, everything you just said, this is the readable one.
Yeah, this is the opening of the Boss Showcase. This is a 90. It will get worse from here.
All right, so we have Istanbul by Revenge, which is Naoki's world music alias. So we have Middle Eastern Twitch 1 here. You'll notice, though, the capitalization is different than it might be in DDR for a very specific reason. Also, this is Istanbul. It's not Constantinople. That one's been a long time gone. But we're back into the BPM changey songs. So these are hard to... It's not the only reason they're hard to do. They'd be hard to do at a straight BPM, but with the changes, they get really hard to read. So if you thought that last one was a lot, here we go.
No, on the one hand, I hate Softland, but on the other, Naoki's been doing music games for almost as long as I've been alive. So you know what? If he wants to do that on his boss songs, he's earned the right at this point.
Game is like, are you sure you want 8.0 speed?
Right.
Yeah, it's fun because we're not, since it's offline, Jamich has to keep redoing stuff from scratch. It's treating him like it's a new player. And yeah, the game is yelling at him like, hey, you're about to play really hard songs from the jump. Are you sure about that?
New game, new Jamich each time. Celebrating the previous song was a $20 donation from Sponge saying, "Gotta donate for Minerva. Thanks for showcasing such a great cause, Jamich. I'd say try the unlimited, but I don't think this has one. Oh well."
Yeah. And again, G Gamerman saying this game looks so fun. Unfortunately, this game's no longer in service. The mobile version is no longer available, and you would need to find an arcade cab in order to play it. A reminder, Jamich is playing on a 400+ pound arcade machine in his living room. But Xenius Vanisher, a very popular music game website, does have an arcade machine tracker. You could use that to see if there's a machine near you. And if not, there is a project that is actively ongoing by folks that are huge fans of Crossbeats called Delta Beats. It is a free music game for iPhone and Android. There are some paid tracks, but that money goes to local arcades, not chain arcades. Or one of them, it goes to an organization that tries to organize tournaments and events for music games. So if this looks fun and you want to quite literally support the music game community, check out Delta Beats. Highly, highly recommend that game. I'd go more about Delta Beats, but we're limited on time.
I'm going to talk to the chat mods after and see if we can get a couple of links for anybody who's interested.
So cool.
Also, thanks for that donation, Sponge. It's been a huge supporter of touchscreen games for a long time. We're really grateful to have them. All right, next, Kotobuki, another song by Revenge. The last one was Middle Eastern Twinge. This is Japanese. I'm a sucker for electronic shamisen, and this is, if you play DDR and seen Sakura there, that's based on a classic Japanese folk song. This is based on the same classic Japanese folk song. It's not identical, but Naoki does have this tendency to go back to the well a little bit.
I mean, plus, it's a Japanese folk song, and last I checked, Naoki Media might be from Japan. I could be wrong on that front. So yeah, there's a reason this shows up in as much music as it does in terms of referring to the folk song. Comparing the two, because why not? I actually think that this is a little bit better for the source material, but at the end of the day, Electric Shamisen and a banger from Naoki, everyone wins.
Everyone indeed wins. We got some rhythm game love inside the donations here. $10 from Mash saying, my favorite rhythm game at the moment is Mash VP, but closely second is Easy 2 on. Love the showcase, and thank you, chat and crew. Oh, and fuck Ice.
Fuck Ice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, speaking of, I know I saw Mash was calling it out in chat earlier. Again, for Naoki's projects, originally started with DDR, did some work with Bimani and Konami, left, made Crossbeats, then did Seven's Code, and is currently doing Mashup Revision, or stylized spelling is Mash VP Revision. And yeah, that's a fantastic game as well. That is currently active. And I know some folks earlier were saying stop killing games. The dev team has explicitly stated on the eventual day that Mashup does have end of service, it will be fully playable offline. Some of Naoki's other projects did not have that, unfortunately, but they've pledged to that for Mashup Revision. Also, Mashup Revision is just dope game. Highly recommend. Seeing a lot of chords and flicks, so you have to tap, and then as you're tapping, you then move in a direction. It's really common in a lot of other charts as well, but it's just really cool because it adds a bit more dynamism to what you're executing.
It's beautiful technique and also beautiful charting too. Just really cool to look at.
All right, now we have the real demons. We have the extra stages. So if you're familiar with rhythm games, and certainly Konami rhythm games kind of pioneered the idea, if you do well, we give you one final song. It's an extra song that you didn't actually pay for, but we also make it as hard as possible and put you in the hardest possible settings. And when this game was up online, that's what you had to do. You had to go perfect a couple of 70s, and then you would get access to this song, and then it would be stuck on ultimate gauge, and you'd see the first 20 seconds of it, and that's the end of it. We get to play the whole thing now.
Yeah, and worth mentioning that, like I'm gonna call this out towards the end of it, but this is a blisteringly hard song, and then right at the end, it jumps BPM and does the same pattern, and then jumps BPM and does the same pattern again. It is very much a, oh, you're still here? That's adorable. Get out. Oh, also, is this this alias Titans? I don't think I've seen that alias anywhere else. Are we sure that that's Naoki and that's not Sans Undertale?
It's Naoki.
Because it's Megalomania. Is there a typo there? Chambers was joking about banning anyone that said Megalovania in chat, but I don't think we have that authority.
Right, exactly.
Jokes aside,
match mix though.
Yeah. Jokes aside, though, while this is a boss song and it is really hard, it's incredible. Like, I know in the community, there's a lot of, for example, Fascination Max, also by Naoki, also has horrible soft land, but the song slaps. And same here. Megalomania, really, really great song. And calling out the whole alias thing, just because, again, that's when artists dip into kind of a genre or music style that they might not do otherwise. Titans hasn't been seen anywhere else, and while you can tell this is a Naoki boss song, it's got a little bit of an edge to it that, yeah, I haven't really heard elsewhere, so it is worth listening and checking out.
Yeah, this is absolutely going hard, and what else is going hard is just how chat is absolutely showing up with these wonderful donations. We're already almost at $39,000, meaning we've raised quite a bit of money during this amazing rhythm showcase. So Jan and Shinji, y'all are doing amazing and bringing a community that just loves supporting y'all and loves supporting a great cause.
Thank you. And yeah, and again, thank you everyone. Because when we were in the tech prep, we noticed, oh, we just broke 38K. We're about to break 39K. Y'all are unreal with this support. Thank you, and fuck ICE.
Fuck ICE, indeed. We literally are $99 away from getting 39K. Do we think we could hit it before Jamage is done? I think so. ! Donate.
So, typically songs are like 1 to 90. What's up with this last song we're about to play, Jamish?
Yeah, well, first I want to call out that back-to-back zigzag. I usually don't combo that. We comboed that. That was pretty awesome.
Let's go.
Yo!
Here we got Megalomania Second Impact. It's a 93. There's a 99. There's nothing in between. This was the one more extra stage from Crossbeats Rev, the second release. So to get this, you had to get Megalomania and then survive it. I think there was a minimum play standard beyond just surviving it. So this
just
was
surviving
really
would not surprise me, though.
Yeah, right.
But this is the game died before they could really flesh out the kind of concepts that would lead to this level of high-end content, hence the big gap. So this is throwing a lot of ideas at the wall and seeing what stuck. If we had the game for more years, we'd be able to see some of the ideas they're trying to do in this fleshed out. But as it is, this chart, if you thought anything else was unreadable and really, really hard, this is in its own stratosphere.
Wow.
What Jamis is trying to say very, very politely is the devs didn't have time to figure out what was both hard and fun, and this is just nothing but hard. And it is not necessarily fun.
Every game has them.
Yep.
There you go. A level 99 song when we're just $99 away from 39K? Coincidence? Maybe.
Also, look at that BPM range, 90 to 360. You know, don't worry about softland as you're trying to do the hardest stuff in the game.
Catch the number of that truck.
Yeah, I'm making the mistake of trying to visually follow along. Good God.
This is absolutely incredible.
Like, I'm able to, in very small snippets, identify, okay, so this is a series of flick chains. Okay, this is a hold. Well, I'm going to be doing this on this other hand. But
I'm just going, this is pretty.
But trying to go from segment to segment, I'm not connecting them. Like, if you gave me this in like 2-second bursts, I might be able to play it. Might. But yeah, also visually, like, game slaps. Like, I know I mentioned that the literal cross beats for the note previews, I think, is one of the best executions for a touchscreen rhythm game. And that's also something Delta Beat does, by the way.
Yep.
But like, also just like aesthetically, it's incredible.
So incredible. What's also incredible is we're just $74 away from the 39K.
I do love that. MK's bringing up, or MK, I can kind of read not ITG charts, but this is on another level.
Time!
Yeah, not ITG is lots of visual gimmicks. This is just like blistering speed. But again, Music Game A versus Music Game B, they're going to look like witchcraft to the other. That's something I love about the genre.
Like, how in the world do you read this? That's the neat part. You don't. Thanks, KNH.
You don't love it.
All right. Well, our time is up. Thanks, everybody, for tuning out. Thanks for all the generous donations.
You all have been incredible on that. Thank you.
It's really appreciated. It's going to make a big difference on the ground in the affected communities. If you want to find me, you can see my link in there. I do this, I do speed runs. It's not about me. It's about the people on the ground, the people going through this. It's about the rest of us, because it doesn't stop in Minneapolis if we don't do something about it.
Amen.
Shinji, you got something else? You got anything else you want to add?
In a similar message, like, yeah, you can see my name. You can find me on Twitch. I do music games, but it's not about me. I wanted to specifically thank Beatao and all of the folks at Delta Beats that are keeping this game alive, essentially. Also, a huge thank you to the staff for helping this event come together. And most of all, thank you, chat, again. Whether you're donating, hyping up chat, or you're lurking and vibing, or even just spreading the word on social media, every bit helps. Thank you so much. And once more, for good measure, or just because it's a day that ends in Y, fuck ICE.
Yeah, hang around, keep watching, keep donating. Fuck ICE. See you all on the flip side.
Damn it, Shinji. Thank you so much. And yes, fuck ICE.